Really, really talented up front. They got a good group of guys that have been playing together for a while. And then what they do on defense, they go from 3 down to 4 down, pressure, drop 8. So they change the picture up on your front, on your ID calls. They change it from snap to snap. And then they got talented players up front that they turn loose and go after the football. So they present a unique challenge this week.
From the beginning of the season till now, what's the biggest change that you've seen in Joe Milton that's really helped be beneficial inside the offense?
Yeah, he's been a great calming force for us as we go through games. He's always real right in the middle, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and he's been a great job as we've had a lot of people out of being that kind of calming center force that kept us going throughout the whole game.
Ben?
Joey, obviously you expect Cooper to have a big impact in his return, but when you look back and watch the film, just how big of an impact was his return for your offensive line?
Yeah, it was huge. They were another team that liked to bring a ton of pressure. They changed the front up a bunch, gave us some unscouted looks, and Coop did a great job getting us in the right call, getting us all on the same page, and allowing us to keep playing fast while we were changing calls and doing all that. And then just having him in there, I think, fresh, like physically what he did inside was really impressive. So it was really good to have him back.
Rob?
Coach, almost halfway through the season with an open day, and I'm sure you went back and looked at everything last week. How would you evaluate Joe, what he's done well, what he needs to do better for you guys in the second half of the season?
Yeah, he's done a really good job of managing the game. Hasn't put the ball in a ton of precarious situations. We had a couple the last week, which was really the first time. But he's done a really good job of like running the offense, of not just trying to go out there and be an athlete with a big arm, but running the offense at a really high level. And what we've asked him to do, he's done really well. So it's been good to watch him more from just a talented player into a true quarterback.
Brent?
I know Joe was a little banged up and has been a little bit banged up here and there. Where's the balance for you this back half of the season in terms of him using his legs? We saw that in the UTSA game. How do you balance week to week how much you use his legs and don't use his legs?
Well, that's the thing. When a guy has the ability to do that, you can't tell him not to. It's just got to be from us on the staff side. How much are you going to truly design for him? And you just got to use the balance of when something presents itself, like we have to go play and take advantage of it without being foolish about we're just going to beat him into a brick wall for 4 quarters. But the way he plays, he's going to use his legs on his own too. And you know that, and that's what he does at a really high level. You saw it against UTSA. That wasn't a design quarterback run. That was him making a read and going and getting it. So you can't say, like, hey, man, I need you not to pull it, because if it presents itself, like, he's going to pull it. So that it's just us on the front end of, like, how much do we want to intentionally run this guy.
Vince, then John.
Where's Nathan Laycock in his development, and is he working his way closer to try to be able to maybe help you guys?
Yeah, he has a unique skill set of size and speed that as he's been working back, he actually had a really good day at practice today too, which was fun to watch. It's just been learning our system and going through it, and I think a lot of times with freshmen, people forget, like, man, they're young, they're freshmen, like some people aren't ready in year run. He's working to get himself ready because we still got a long run on the back end of this season. So, hats off to him for not saying, like, it's not my year. He is still working. He's trying to get himself on the field. He just hadn't broken through that yet, but he's doing a really good job of pushing to get there.
John and Ben.
When you have guys like Chaz and Caleb expected to step up in a bigger role than they have been at any point in their careers, do you ever spend any more time with those kind of guys before a week like this just to help them manage the emotions of it?
Yeah, I think, like, as coaches, you got to kind of walk the line of, yes, you talk them through it, what to expect. It's different being a starter and a guy that's coming in off the bench, but it's also human nature sometimes. Like, if they feel you talking too much and, like, hey, man, no big deal, hey, just like always, they kind of start to feel like, man, maybe this is a big deal and he's trying to calm me down. So it's really, like, both those guys have a good temperament. The moment's not going to be too big for them. They've played in big situations. So, yeah, it's more like addressing them of what the preparation looks like for a guy that is a full-time starter now in Brew's absence, and someone that's just expected to come in and play 15 to 20% of the snaps.
And how does that preparation change?
I think it's just overall, like, what it's going to take to physically be locked in for 60 minutes of football and not come in and spell a guy and then come out when he's ready to come back in. Like, you have to be locked in for every different unscouted look you get. Are they going to man to zone? Is it pressure? Are they playing me soft, filing routes away like, hey, last time he jumped this, so this is how I'm going to set it up next time, and not just saying, like, hey, I'm going to come in and get these couple plays and then I'll be right back out.
Joey, how much are the tight ends capable of stepping up and taking pressure off of those younger receivers production loss from Brew?
Yeah, quite a bit. Both of them have different skill sets. Like Callie and Jacob are different players, but they're both highly intelligent. We can move them around, put them in different spots, which we are, and allowing them to try to get some matchups that are favorable for them. As now, when you lose a guy like Brew, who was, your seasoned guy, it's like, all right, how do we make this? You don't just throw one person in and just expect all the production to stay the same. It's like, how do we make this right? What do we have to do? What do we have to scheme? How do we have to formation things to get guys in a position to use their skill set? Because not everyone has the same one.
Vince.
What about Webb and Nimrod? What have you seen from them now that there's clearly an opportunity for them to be on the field more?
Yeah, one of the biggest testaments I can give to both those guys is it's been business as usual. They've been, even when they were in a backup role, they've been the guys that they come up and they get extra film every day. You see them up there, they're grabbing the assistant coaches like, hey, can I get extra stuff? And it's been the same. So they haven't tried to make like a wholesale change or try to be something they're not. They're both just going in there and this is how I conduct my business, and they have confidence in their skill set and their preparation. We expect them to play well.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.